Wayne too. Matter of fact, I'm gonna drag Wayne first.
I'm a drag
so let me
Wayne.
just put my disclaimer out there.
I'm a drag Wayne.
If you from this city, it ain't got nothing to do with you. Don't get involved. Mind your fucking business. No disrespect. Mind your business. This is me talking to Fifth. If you from New Orleans, mind your fucking business. I'm not talking down on the cities, and I'm not talking down on the niggas from the cities. I'm talking exactly to these two grown ass niggas I'm talking about. And if they feel some type of way, they can respond. So I just want to let all you niggas out there who might want to dick ride, this ain't the one you dick ride, okay? This ain't the one. You step on off to the side.
I think I'm learning the science of this. If I put on my fake glasses and get on my intellectuals, you know, because I could be an Emmy nominated. Hey, yo, I got to be honest, man. Tariq Nasheed, Jason Black, and Professor Black Truth be cooking the shit out of that Antoine nigga from the ADOS joint. Man, he an Emmy nominated producer. Yo, that right there is great. My uncle is Emmy nominated. I don't know what the Broadway one is, but he got one of those too. He got a bunch of whole fucking trophies in the house. So that shit actually means nothing in retrospect if you're not putting it to task and you're not a producer or real nothing. So I love that clap back, but man, oh man, I'm trying to gather what Young Pharaoh was saying. He wants to go at 50 and Wayne. I don't know how to do that. Let me see if I can let you know. I'm definitely settled right now. I'm in the whole other zone. So let me turn that back to what it was. Let me listen to Young Pharaoh real quick.
Mash your bitch ass with facts, okay? Straight up. So I'm gonna save you for last, but let me continue my intro. I'm tired of y'all bitch ass niggas, dog. Y'all niggas been in Hollywood all these years, watching pedophilia go on, watching homosexuality go on, taking part in the shit. And I'm not even, for legal purposes. Let me say hypothetically speaking, taking part in the shit. And then you niggas is getting sunned by these Hollywood executives. You niggas is getting sunned by these Hollywood
I'm trying to feel.
label CEOs. Half y'all niggas is sucking dick in the deal, and then you want to talk down to people like you somebody. Nigga, that money don't make you better than your people, nigga. Yeah, we all want to get some money. Yeah, we do. So we can be successful, but the money don't make you better than your people, my nigga. We made you motherfuckers who you was. Nigga,
oh, man.
Me personally, nigga, I was banging Wayne in middle school. Nigga, all dedications, nigga.
That nigga said
who you are. That's a fact. That's a fact. And I'm tired of you niggas.
Jones.
Where's the loyalty, my nigga? Now, yes, when you reach a certain level in your career.
Who you talking about? Pharaoh selling out? I don't know. Pharaoh's a different. I don't pay attention to this little nigga. I'm gonna be honest with you. I definitely don't pay attention to this little nigga.
Oh, no platform. Straight up. Even when I check my people about shit I don't agree with, I don't do it to where somebody else could say something. So it's time to dig in you niggas' chest, dog. Because you niggas think it can't happen. Especially
maybe I could fast.
And I'm finna embarrass your bitch ass. I'm finna embarrass your bitch ass. Because I'm tired of you. And I want to give the disclaimer right now. Nigga, I'm not afraid of you, my nigga. So all that tough rah-rah, all that shit don't move me, my nigga.
Oh, God. Let me stop this shit right here. Why are internet niggas hopping on the internet proclaiming that we got real beef? All this tough talking, this rap. Like, I don't remember the nigga engaging you to begin with. So what is the tough talk and the rah-rah? Like, who the fuck are you talking to? Like, who engaged you in this challenge? Who smacked you with a leather glove? Who pulled out their pistolas? Who has their sword ready for engagement? These niggas talking about like they're ready for war as if a nigga engaged them first. You're engaging someone, so you can't not sit here and be on some proclamation shit or defensive posture when you're creating the problem. Like, let's just start right there.
You got to prove it to me, my nigga. And I pop off, straight up. And so that being said, I'm not threatening nobody, okay? Because I know you like to play attorney games, and we can do that. But I'm giving my disclaimer. I'm just letting you know. Nigga, you don't put no fear in me.
I want to fight, but I don't want to fight.
Niggas you be around, none of these flunky ass niggas you be around, nigga, at all. And I'm finna do your bitch ass filthy. because you love to play around on this internet like you untouchable. So let me snatch your bitch ass through the screen real quick.
You know
now,
what? I can't even do this.
Screen,
I can't even do this.
Because it's time to get it in. Now let me show y'all, okay, the intro clip, right? And I got Nick Cannon right here because he just got fired on his day off. All jokes aside, he got fired on his day off. All right? I mean, excuse me, just joking, but he got fired on his day off. Now,
yeah, you know what? I need to figure out why Nick Cannon got fired. Hold on. Yeah, fuck young Pharaoh. Let's figure out what did Nick Cannon say that got him fired. And if he said that blacks were the real Jews and that got him fired, that's crazy, y'all. Historical documents and references will prove and point to the historical Let's see what happens here. Let me listen. What's up, Monica? Oh, hold on. Let me ask, you said you think it was hate speech. Well, shit. Let me turn this camera off. I don't need to look at my. What did Nick Cannon say? I have yet to find out what he says that was hate speech. So I'm going to try to find out what he says in this clip right here.
Apartments.com helps you find a new home from the
I forgot the actor's name. I got to deal with 1 to 2 ads. That's really ridiculous.
First Viacom CBS has terminated their relationship with Nick Cannon over hateful speech on an episode of his podcast. Now he's speaking out. THR's Neha Joy has more.
The artist came under fire after a conversation on the June 30th episode of his podcast, Cannon's Class, was deemed to contain racist and anti-Semitic language. The episode contained a 90-minute interview between Cannon and former Public Enemy member Richard Griffin, best known by his stage name Professor Griff, where Cannon made comments that were said to spread views of anti-Semitism. The episode was then flagged by a Jewish blogger on Sunday. On Tuesday, media giant Viacom...
Wait a minute. Oh. So the episode was flagged by a Jewish vlogger for feeling that it was hate speech. So I can't even go watch Professor Griff and Nick Cannon's interview right now to find out what was said that was controversial. Hey, listen. They call black people dindus, thugs. They choke us on the fucking live camera. Are Jewish people that sensitive at this point? Like, are we at the point where you can talk boldly about the degradation of black people, but the minute you mention an inkling against a Jewish person, like, your whole life and legacy is destroyed? Like, is there 5 to 6 years of Holocaust under the Hitler regime, 1940 to about 45, 46? Is that more predominant than our 400 years of slavery and building America? Are they that insensitive? And if they're that insensitive, should we take it to that level? Because I feel that we should take it to that level. If Nick Cannon is allowed to be canceled for mentioning anything Jewish, then anything mentioned black or derogatory, it needs to be canceled, taken off the air, shut down, and that's it, removed. But if we don't stand for anything like that and allow that to be removed, I didn't even listen to what he said, and I can guarantee it was minuscule compared to what we've heard about us live on television for the last 3 months or since George Floyd was killed. I can guarantee wholeheartedly that it does not compare. So if they're going to remove Nick Cannon, I'm going to need them to remove Mark Dice. Period. I mean, who are we canceling and why are we canceling them? Are Jewish people the only people who have the extreme offense on this globe? Because I get it. You were offended. Things happened to you. But along the lines of history, what happened to you is minuscule compared to what happened to us. And if a man gets up online, and I don't care if you flag this shit, and says, we are the original Hebrews, then you just got to swallow that pill and fight it historically. And if you can't fight it historically, claiming or screaming or yelling anti-Semitism, lets me know that you lost. It lets us know that you lost. Because your first attempt is hate speech as opposed to proving us wrong. Prove those black people wrong. If those black people ain't the original Hebrews, if black people ain't the original Jews, then prove it. Why is screaming anti-Semitism your first defense? Are you in fear of the truth, the facts, and history? Are you kidding me? Wow. I can go on for days with that, but wow.
CBS responded to the incident by terminating their long-running relationship with the artist. In a statement obtained by The Hollywood Reporter, the company wrote in part, Viacom-CBS condemns bigotry of any kind, and we categorically denounce all forms of anti-Semitism. We have spoken with Nick Cannon about an episode of his...
Okay, so if Viacom is against bigotry, I need all of us to put ourselves at the forefront and research Viacom. And if we find bigotry, hatred, and anti-blackism, right, against black people, then Viacom should be held accountable to that, as well as Nick Cannon being held accountable to what he said. See, I think we should make the playing field fair at this point. And if we can't make the playing field fair, then you know what? We shouldn't be on their platforms to begin with. And, well, Wild 'N Out is way more successful than Viacom ever. So what they actually did was free Nick Cannon. And all he really has to do is change the name from Wild 'N Out to something else. Now, if they fired him, I hope he was smart and had a clause in his contract that they can't use his property. They can't play Wild 'N Out anymore. It all belongs to him. I hope. I pray. And if he doesn't have that, we should call upon every black lawyer inside America to make sure he has every right to every show, to every Wild 'N Out that was ever aired, because it's his idea, it's his work and everything. And if they're going to fire him off of how they feel, even on his show, bigotry and anti-blackism is portrayed, and it hasn't been removed based upon that, they're going to remove it based upon small and or quotes that they feel were anti-Semitic. If they can do that, they need to be held accountable. No, media needs to be held accountable for what they utilize as anti-blackism, anti-blackness, everything they do and use to degrade us. Next time you watch fucking SVU and it's a black man on there and they're portraying him in a bad light, you need to write everybody. At this point in time, I don't want to see black people portrayed in a bad light on media, period. If we can't say anything about them, they can't portray anything about us. Why the fuck is that a problem? We're not even thinking about that. Money holds Viacom accountable. But it's way more coons than coons realize that they cooning.
Podcast Cannon's channel on YouTube promoted hateful speech and spread anti-Semitism conspiracy theories. While we support ongoing education and dialogue in the fight against bigotry, we are deeply troubled that Nick has failed to acknowledge or apologize for perpetuating anti-Semitism, and we are terminating our relationship with him.
Cannon took to Facebook early on Wednesday morning to defend himself. In a lengthy post, the host demanded full ownership of my billion-dollar Wild 'N Out brand that I created, and asked for an end to the hate and backdoor bullying and an apology. He wrote in part, "I am deeply saddened in a moment so close to reconciliation that the powers that be misused an important moment for us to all grow closer together and learn more about one another. Instead, the moment was stolen and hijacked to make an example of an outspoken black man." Cannon also said, "I must apologize to my Jewish brothers and sisters for putting them in such a painful position, which was never my intention. This whole situation has hurt many people, and together we will make it right. I have dedicated my daily efforts to...
They say painful. When you tell Jewish people you are part of the transatlantic African slave trade, that your people here in America benefited from it, that we have the documents, we have the ledgers, we have the shipment logs, we have it, and it's Jewish names associated to it. They get offended, and it's called anti-Semitism. Why is historical facts of slave trading anti-Semitism? You'll hold the European accountable, but you won't hold the Jewish person accountable? Now, see, I don't think they're interchangeable. I don't think there's a differentiation between them. I think they're interchangeable. But some were Jewish. And when you put that in the context and how they hold their traditions, culture, statures, and kin, you have to recognize your Jewish ancestry. And if I have to recognize your Jewish ancestry, I have to recognize what you did. And if I recognize what you did as a slave trader, how is that anti-Semitic? And if I recognize that blacks are also Semitic people, then just at a redundance, black can't be anti-Semitic. So let's just, do that part. But the point is, how is telling you the truth about yourself, your people, and what was done in history anti-Semitic? I don't get it. How is it not, anti-blackness when we talk about how your media portrays us? It was a problem when we had to look at media portraying these people and individuals having big noses and being creeps in black robes with sickles. They were death. They were thieves. This is how they were portrayed in Europe. And now they've taken that whole ideology and pushed it upon us. And for us to say something about it that's anti-Semitic, everything is anti-Semitic now. You can chastise. So what do we consider anti-blackness? What are we going to turn around and say, this is anti-black people, anti-black men? They got Dindu songs, all of these things. Big lip cartoon characters, eating watermelon. They got all of these things depicting us. And it's not offensive to America, nor is it worthy of companies being boycotted and or shut down. At what point do we become that powerful? At what point is degrading us a consequence for anyone? This whole Karen, getting prosecuted thing is a start. But it's trash if we can watch Karen get prosecuted, but Nick Cannon get removed while not even promoting what he said, right, on their platform. Because he didn't say it on Wild 'N Out. He didn't say it on Viacom. He said it on his own YouTube show's platform, and he was still fired. It's that easy to fire a black person. Now, I get people say, it might have been offensive in some arenas, but he said it on his platform on YouTube, and he lost his corporate job. Is your job safe for what you say on YouTube? How is your freedom of speech not protected, but others' freedom of speech is protected? Why are you simply chastised and held to a higher standard than others? See, others are able to acknowledge their mistakes, go to counseling, and come back to work. You are fired. You are gone. You are black. That's fucking simple. And ain't nobody we sit down and accept this shit. We literally accept this shit. We gotta accept Nick Cannon being fired without being challenged. So he's asking, I'm reading his after state, he's asking people to challenge what he said. Please challenge me. Show me where I'm wrong. Point it out. Nah, you fired. Take you off the air. You know why? because you can't prove them wrong. And it's easier to just discard and get rid than to have an intellectual debate. You know why? Because they were slayed back in the days. They were destroyed. Dr. John Henry Clark, Malcolm X, Dr. Ben, they was killing them, slaying them live publicly on air. You think they want that to happen again? There will not be a public debate. You have to go. We will not acknowledge what you said. What we say is the truth. I'm white and I say so. And we gonna sit here and accept this shit. Nick Cannon has a channel on YouTube, folks. I would hope that you find yourselves there. I'm gonna see if I can find a Professor Griff interview, but let me finish listening to this shit.
Continuing conversations to bring the Jewish community and the African American community closer together, embracing our differences and sharing our commonalities. The next Kanye West road to the White House has seemingly come to an end. 10 days after the musician and designer tweeted that he was running in the 2020 election, the effort seems to have quietly ceased. West had hired advisor Steve Kramer to get him on the ballot by gathering signatures in 2 key states, Florida and South Carolina. But on Tuesday, Kramer told New York Magazine, "He's out. I'll let you know what I know once I get all our stuff canceled." West has yet to confirm or deny the report. West's 11th hour White House bid meant he had little to no time to gather enough signatures in order to file with the Federal Election Commission to appear on any state ballot. Finally, John Hamm is set to star in a reboot of Fletch, the 1980s Chevy Chase movie based on the original Gregory McDonald mystery novels. Hamm will play I.M. Fletcher, the hotshot investigative reporter played by Chase in the 1985 neo-noir comedy of the same name.
I'm gonna have to find this fucking shit. What's she doing? I gotta wake up early in the morning and make a road trip. Let's see this. Yeah. Simply easy to cancel black men. All these black women talking that shit.
His part after being let go.
That's the crazy part, man. They be like, black women don't get no attention, blah, blah, blah. Now they gonna cancel Nick Cannon. And these coon, bed wench, weird divestment bitches is super hyped. Don't cape. Don't worry, don't cape for Nick Cannon. I need them divestment chicks and the rest of them women to understand. Don't cape for Nick Cannon, because when Vivica and the rest of these broads go, like Jada, Vivica, and all of them, we gonna have to look at you and say, well, we not allowed to cape. I don't want to hear protect black women media, and I don't want to hear protect all this other stuff when all you bitches is out here talking this bullshit. So when they cancel these dusty rods out here talking they bullshit for doing some reckless stuff, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see a bunch of crying tears on these divestment channels talking about this is how they treat black women. Nope. They just canceled Nick Cannon, who's been giving you great entertainment for I don't know how many years. Nick Cannon has brought forth stars and comedians that you would have never heard about outside of Wild 'N Out. DC Young Fly was great and famous on these social media apps, but he was not the man until he hit Wild 'N Out. What's that girl, Jess? She was not the shit until she hit Wild 'N Out. The rapper that did the freestyle, it wasn't the shit until he hit Wild 'N Out. So I'm sorry, y'all. They trying to take out Nick as if he ain't pivotal. And they only taking him out because if Nipsey was taken out, Sabi was taken out, he gonna do a Sabi that, yeah, he gotta go. Man, if y'all not paying attention, that shit is scary to me. Should be scary to you.
By Viacom CBS for making anti-Semitic remarks on a podcast. On Tuesday, the company announced in a statement that they had cut ties with Cannon following controversial remarks made on an episode of Cannon's Class. Fans were outraged after hearing the 39-year-old espouse anti-Jewish conspiracy theories on his show. As anger over his comments grew, Nick sent out a series of tweets.
anti-Jewish conspiracy. I really need to hear what he says. And listen, if I find out that Nick Cannon said nothing but truth, I'm going to dig into my fucking crate and prove this to you through white people's books. Because black people are that stupid. You need white people to tell you black truth. And I'm going to have to dig in my goddamn crates. Because if I find out what Nick Cannon said was all truth and could be 100% verified, man, listen, I'm about to be on some bullshit.
On Monday, saying that he in no way supports hate speech. One tweet read, "Anyone who knows me knows that I have no hate in my heart nor malice intentions. I do not condone hate speech nor the spread of hateful rhetoric. We are living in a time when it is more important than ever to promote unity and understanding." Still, Viacom cut ties with the TV personality later the following day. Cannon released a lengthy statement to his Facebook account where he condemned the network for their decisions, saying they were on the wrong side of history.
Boom!
"I am deeply saddened in a moment so
Damn,
full of
that's it.
reconciliation that the..."
You know, right now there's a quote floating around YouTube that I said the other day. And I asked somebody a question. I said, I need you to tell us the truth because, you know, if I do something regarding what you said, I want to be on the right side of history. Do you understand the dynamics of... I don't even think people are caught up to what I said. And the mind frame that I'm in, I don't want to be jotted down as being someone that was on the wrong side of history. Because we have every opportunity, we have every availability to really dig into our resources and find the truth. You know, we can ask questions, we can hypothesize, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can really put things together and really come to a more truth based on an investigation than people prior to us, you know, our ancestors could have ever done. And so I know being on the right side of history has to be a key. And for Nick Cannon to mention that means that he, you know, this understanding is beyond what I'm saying. It is all encompassing to all understanding.
Powers that be misused an important moment for us all to grow closer together and learn more about one another. Instead, the moment was stolen and hijacked to make an example of an outspoken black man. I will not be bullied, silenced, or continuously oppressed by any organization, group, or corporation. I am disappointed that Viacom does not understand or respect the power of the black community. Nick also apologized for any hurt he may have caused with his words. Viacom, who is now on the wrong side of history, I will continue to pray for you. I don't blame any... Blame the oppressive and racist infrastructure. Systemic racism is what this world was built on, and was the subject in which I was attempting to highlight in the recent clips that have been circulating from my podcast. If I have hurt the hate speech, I wholeheartedly apologize. Cannon summarized his lengthy history with the company where he produced the mega popular show Wild 'N Out, among many others. He ended his statement with a demand for full ownership of the brand, which he says he built into a multi-million-dollar industry. I demand full ownership of my billion-dollar Wild 'N Out brand that I created, and they will continue to misuse and destroy without my leadership. I demand that the hate and backdoor bullying cease, and while we are at it, now that the truth is out, I demand the apology.
And I stand with Nick Cannon. So let me see if I can kind of scroll through some of this chat. I don't know the fucking please transfer. I don't even know what that's about. We're gonna have to discuss the whole. Y'all gonna make me open up the stream, but stream y'all. Oh, now it's moving. Maybe that Monica. Monica, yeah. Why we listening to him? We think he saw a couple times. Because he did. We got to say justice. I think it was hate speech, random woman. Looks like about you, random woman. Nick Cannon should take an L. That's Cannon is dumb. I have a video about the Negro comment. Shit. Big J. Big J, I finna cook your ass about some of that feminist shit your ass was spitting. So Nick Cannon was dumb? Nigga, we finna have a conversation. Nick Cannon is dumb. You heard what he said at the end of his goddamn statement? I demand the rights to my billion-dollar product that you fools have. You gonna cancel me, cancel it all, give me my name, my rights and everything. You don't want a part of it, and you shouldn't even, just like they did. Remember Comedy Central? Dave Chappelle went to Africa, and what happened when they left? They started playing the Chappelle show, and they was getting paid. They still had to give him residuals, but the point is, they got most of that money. So come on with that bullshit, man. To be Big J, Jalen, man, shut the fuck up. Y'all niggas don't want this cooking. Y'all don't want this shit. Fuck out here with that. Reflecting the fact that police training is coming from Israel. Police training has been coming from Israel, especially in the New York NYPD, Monica. I'm not standing for Nick. I understand you. In the room, really straight about Monica Moore. Random woman, that's between you and her. What's up, my nigga? Really? Damn, why am I losing my voice here? Fucking with my brothers and these niggas. That's thanks to Afro-Asiatic equals exactly. There is no who is going to hold Viacom accountable? You and I. And if white folks don't want to hold them accountable, then we need to hold white folks accountable. We need to hold those accountable who won't hold those accountable. You understand? So, listen, if we're saying hold them accountable, and these other organizations ain't holding them accountable, then we need to be like, we holding you accountable fast. That's how that shit needs to work, man. Because we going through some stuff, man. If we don't stand together, stand right, stand whole, stand firm, it don't matter what we think we deserve. Ain't none of us on the same page anyway. Not a single person. So come on, y'all. We can front like we doing it right for the TV, but we not. Folks are suffering. Folks is not just suffering. They turning around and electing people to help them suffer more. They confused about politicians because they don't build them, they don't create them, they don't put them in the office. How do you think that shit works in Maine? They know what these white women are doing. Go look at the goddamn electorate up for challenging or election in November. Come on, man. These people build a politician. And then the elite-built politicians are sent off to Washington, D.C. to make sure that they keep building what they want. Not just as a whole, but as a collective, and then as a partial collective, and as a territorial. As long as it's ensuring their prosperity along with the rest of the collectives and ensuring the degradation of some of the others. Oh man, that's who is put in there. It's called being on code. They don't like that goddamn language, but being on code is what you're supposed to be. And if you're not on code, well, your outcome is your outcome. Yeah, so I'm not used to this whole shit. What's this?
It's Upspeed with 300 meg internet and TV for just $65 a month. Click now.
Only 65. I mean, $65.
The latest on Nick Cannon after his controversial exit from America's Got Talent. Only we went straight to the source. Kevin Craven scored an exclusive in New York with Nick. And frankly, everybody wants to know, what is Nick thinking, Kev?
Nancy, it really was a shocking turn of events because hosting AGT seems like a dream gig. But let me say this, I
Why leave America's Got Talent? It seems like a dream job. Why leave that job?
Because it's a job, and people are not defined by a job. They get caught in a situation. You should be happy to be here, or it is the dream job. Things like this don't come along anymore, but things like that don't define you.
Nick
I ain't no
speaking to his
clue.
principals, walking away from the show he's hosted for 8 seasons after he says NBC executives threatened to fire him for making jokes like this one on his Showtime comedy special. I apologize, white people. We over here talking about players and stuff, and you think this is America's Got Talent.
When people start to put restraints on my creativity as an artist, I just have to stand on my
There you
square.
go. Now we know why Nick Cannon is gone.
One of the things that
There you
moves
go.
me or
Come
inspires
on,
me.
folks. He said this shit a long time ago, man. They not gonna let black man be black, man. Bill Cosby is in jail because of this shit. What you gonna tell me? He fondled women 40 years ago. Yeah, he deserves to be in jail. I mean, fucking really? That don't hold a white man accountable, but Bill Cosby? Come on, man. Get the fuck out of here. Like, this shit is irrelevant. That brother, I don't give a fuck how many times y'all say he crossed over, twisted. That nigga's on a path to self-sustainability, self-control. He is literally showing you people that you shouldn't be controlled by what they tell you to be controlled by. You know what? I don't like the way you encroaching upon my creativity. I'm out. Some of you shucking and jiving turkey motherfuckers would still be at that goddamn job, Steve Harvey. And we sitting here chastising. Yo, man, this is why you don't got no male. This is why you ain't got no strong black man. Why? Why be a strong black leader? Why be somebody who wants to stand here up for our people? Man, I'm looking at all you motherfuckers. Turn y'all back on somebody who is telling you to be sick. He's telling you, not just me. He's telling you. In what he's saying, man, I want to be self-sustainable. Like, you know, it's a job. They don't control me. They don't control me. So however y'all see it is, I'm looking at it. They don't control this nigga, and that's why he had to go. They were waiting for him to say something to get rid of him. Literally, boom. They were literally waiting for Nick Cannon to say something so they can get rid of him. Why? Because he about to do something else. That nigga's podcast on YouTube is fucking popular.
Embrace it the way everyone else does on this planet, but I don't make decisions based off of it.
So it wasn't an emotional decision.
No, not at all. Everything I do is calculated.
Did they threaten to fire you?
They did. You know, I think that's very apparent, but I never want to play the victim. And I never want to point fingers or, I feel like I was mistreated. I wish everyone the best.
So no hard feelings on his end, but what does he think about rumors that actor Brandon Michael Smith could be his AGT replacement?
We're a community. We got to look to build one another up. So when you see somebody else get an opportunity, all you can do is salute them.
I sat down with Nick in Times Square as he was prepping to go live for MTV's Wild 'N Out, a show he created that's now in its 9th season. He's hosting a talent search for the next cast member.
My new superstar tonight, so let's get to it.
He's also got a movie out soon and continues to make music. But what's really got people talking, this wild YouTube video blog that left some worried he was coming unhinged. People saw that blog and they said, what's going on with Nick?
All right, enough with the politics. It's so funny because people see that blog and they're like, oh, what's wrong with it? I was like, I'm an artist. And I get excited when people don't understand something because I always say first they call you crazy, then second they ask, how did you do it?
Nick is also passionate about his family. He just welcomed his 3rd child, a boy, with ex-girlfriend Brittany Bell. He's also co-parenting his twins with ex-wife Mariah Carey. How do you and Mariah work it out? Because it seems like it is a very good relationship.
It's fun. It's comical. It's humorous to me. The way the world perceives myself and Mariah and the way that we actually really are. When we first met, we had conversations of like, what if we did work out? How would we? I would never have a bad thing, a negative thing to say about her, and everything that she's built, even with our children, she's a magnificent mother. See how happy they are. You see that they're loved unconditionally, and at the end of the day, that's our number one priority.
I get it. I guess I have to do something about it tomorrow when I get back to the crib. But for right now, I think I'm gonna sign out because yeah, this shit is gonna get me in a different mood, and I'm trying to enjoy myself tonight. I don't even know what time it is. There's other YouTube niggas live right now, and I think my watch is off because something happened to it. So whatever. Everybody enjoy your night. Be humble. Be wise. Be merry. And then catch us later. I hope the sirens scare the shit out of you. Welcome to